Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, agents. I'm Manny Carl, and welcome to another Division Let's Talk right here. And we're going to talk today about the current state of the PST. And if you don't know what that is the Public Test Server. So it's the PTS, not the PST. What am I thinking of? I have no idea. PTSD? Something like that. I don't know. Maybe that's what I have now that I've done this so many times. Anyways, so we're going to go ahead and talk about the current state of the PTS because lots of people have been asking me to comment on other people's videos regarding the PTS and my thoughts on what it's like in the PTS right now and what it's like in the 1.4 patch going forward. So first thing I want to talk about is the enemies. Right now at the maximum level, at level 4, the enemies at 33 feel really nice. The red enemies are very easy to kill, the purple enemies are medium to kill, and the yellow enemies, the time to kill is fairly well, and you don't really feel like you're spending a whole lot of time killing them. The guns feel very good when you're shooting them. So I would say that the basic combat stuff that they got going on is probably where I would love to see it. I would love to see right where it is and keep it there because I think it's perfect where it's at. I think that's my ideal time to kill, and I think that with the reds, the purples, and the yellows, it is the perfect situation for the weapons that are in the game right now, and if they don't change anything, it would be perfect. And I know some people think that it's too easy. There are people who are in the mindset that right now they think that the PTS is too easy in killing these guys, and I think that is completely wrong. I think that my opinion of that is that these are right where it needs to be, and it's a lot of fun. It feels very much like what was going on at level 12 in the game, and I feel that that's right where it needs to go. But the things that I do disagree with, and there's a lot of people who are going to disagree with me on this, but I think that right now the loot is probably the easiest, and I honestly don't care, but it's to the point where it's breaking the game, because right now you can get the mint green drops, the gear sets, the coveted 229 gear sets off a level 33 red. They drop very often, and you'll see it in some of my videos as I'm going along. You'll see that these green gear sets are dropping off of the level 33 red guys, and that wouldn't be a problem except for the fact that when you kill a named boss, you get 2 yellows and 2 high ends, basically is what it is, when it should be the other way around. You should be getting the high ends from the red guys and the gear sets from the named bosses or whatever. The gear sets shouldn't drop off of just anybody. It should still be a coveted prize, something that you should go out and kill these high-end enemies with. And it's just right now you can go out and just slaughter a ton of guys, and it's only in the open world. This is only where I'm seeing it, is in the open world. I've done a couple missions and I haven't seen any greens dropping. It's only in the open world, so I have a feeling that it's probably bugged. And so if that's the case, then it's perfect. Fix the bug and everything should be perfect, but you should be seeing gear sets dropping off of the named bosses and high end or lower dropping off of the reds, and maybe even gear sets dropping off of maybe purple or yellow enemies, just wherever, and just leave the reds as the bottom feeder, because right now it's too easy to get mint green stuff dropping off of the reds. And I know that this is the PTS, so it could change at any moment. And so, but when you kill a named boss, I haven't seen any greens dropping off, the mint greens dropping off of the named bosses. I only see 2 yellows, and you'll see it in my video, and I'll tell you why this is the problem. And this is the problem with how much loot is dropping off of the enemies, and it's actually not a problem. It's not a problem for you, it's not a problem for anybody. It's only really basically made it so that, and this is right where everybody was talking about last week, it has made the Darkzone a completely and utterly PvP only zone. The only reason to go in there is to PvP now, and because all of the loot you could just get outside in the real world, and you could just run around and collect it, and there's no reason to go into the do extractions or anything like that in the Darkzone. That's the only problem, is that if you don't like going in the Darkzone, this is great for you. If you do like going in the Darkzone, this is a bummer, because not very many people are going into the Darkzone unless they are there to PvP. And so once you go into the Darkzone, you know for sure that anybody in there, they're there to PvP because they're not there to get loot. They can go in anywhere else. They can get loot anywhere else at this point. So when you go into the PTS and go into the Darkzone, you know that you are getting into a PvP situation where it is almost a shoot on sight. There is no teaming up. There is just running in there, and it is complete chaos right now in the PvP area because of this fact that you can get just greens dropping everywhere else. And I would say it's probably like right now, I would say it's like 1 out of every 10 to 15 guys I kill, I find a mint green dropping. And like I said, it's only in the real world, in the open world roaming areas. It's not in the missions. It's not anywhere else. The missions, they don't drop anything almost. It's very rare to drop a mission. The HVT, very much the same thing. You can go out there. There's tons of loot that drops off these. So right now, I think it's very unbalanced, and it's making things like it's making the Darkzone irrelevant basically for almost everybody. And I know that there's a yin and a yang. Like I'm talking about it as though I'm upset, but I'm not really upset. I don't really care about this because I think that people who want a PvP should go PvP in the Darkzone, and people who don't, they should stay out of the Darkzone. And this is perfect for both sides. So it keeps PvPers outside, it keeps people from going in and griefing, and it makes it so that you can just do whatever you want and figure out the best play style for you. So anyways, that is my current thoughts on the current state of the PTS. I know that they're going to change things up. They're probably going to lower the loot threshold for the open world, the roaming world, the light world, whatever you want to call it. The light zone is what most of us are calling it. But there needs to be a fine balance between Dark Zone and Light Zone. There needs to be, basically the same amount of time to get loot in both areas. And I think that, just making it so that greens are dropping off red enemies isn't really what they've intended, but yet it's there. And I understand that in a few other videos made by a few other YouTubers, they say that the game's too easy and that loot is too easy to come by. Well, I agree half of that with you. I agree that loot is too easy to come by, but I disagree that the game is too easy. I think that it's the right balance that the game needs. I think the time to kill is perfect. I think that the weapons are tuned, and I think that if it stays that way, then you're gonna see a lot of people very happy with the way the combat is. Some people are gonna still find it a little spongy, but it's not that bad. It's actually really well. I find that the time to kill, especially on the level 33s, they're actually doing a really good job when it comes down to getting a time to kill that works for them. So I think that this is getting very close to the end product that we're going to see. I think they're going to tweak the loot a little bit more. They're going to tweak a few other bugs that I found, and that's pretty much it. And we should be able to see, toward the end of the month, I'm thinking the last week of the month is when the PTS is going to make its way over into the real world, and 1.4 is going to drop unless there's going to be some setbacks. So look for it the last week. I think it's the 22nd is what we're looking at right now. It's probably somewhere around there, 22nd or 28th, somewhere around there. It's going to be the last Tuesday, Wednesday in June, somewhere around there. So I think that's it. So that's my time. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate everybody that's been watching and sticking with me. I know that you're using my experience as a former game developer to go ahead and gauge this, and that's what we do. That's what game development is. It's going through testing these iterations, getting the feedback, and making new builds, and that's what Massive's doing. And they're not going to release 1.4 until it's ready to go out. So even if it slips into November, I'm fine with it because they're on the right path to making it better. And I think that a lot of the people that are playing on the PTS are making that happen because they're really giving their feedback. A lot of people just went out and bought this for the fact that they can do the PTS. I don't have the Division installed on my machine. I got access to the PTS, and that's it. So I just wanted to do that. I don't want to play the Division on the PC because I feel like it's very much made for a console. I actually might start playing it on the PC, but it might be rare. So anyways, that's my time. Thank you so much for watching. For all of us here at the Division Let's Talk, I'm Mountie Carl, and we'll see you on the PTS. Agent out.